Hey everyone, this is your girl SolieSims and welcome back to my channel. We are continuing with the Bloom into Spring mini series where I decided to create a mini spring themed build series in not Foundry Cove. I said it this is my second time doing the voiceover, and I said Foundry Cove before. It's actually Courtyard Lane. And the last house we did a couple of weeks ago was in Emira Bloom's house, which was the Peach Petal Cottage. This time around we are doing Ellie Sunshine's house, and this one is in tones of yellow and blue. This is on a 30 by 20 lot directly opposite Emira's house, and it's valued at just over 105,000 simoleons. So let us jump into the type of person that Ellie is, so you can have an idea of how I went about decorating this space. So the name of this house is Buttercup Breeze, and Ellie is appearing to be a young adult. She is well, we'll save the traits for later, but she works as a florist, or it can be a herbalist as well. And there is just a little bit of something that's a secret with Ellie that she doesn't tell anybody. So Ellie is a bright and cheerful sim, and it sometimes make you feel like you've always known her even if you've just met her. She fits right into the little world of Courtyard Lane, and she runs a small flower business out of her little cottage. As you can see, it's quite sunlit, I believe, like on the interior. Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, guys. You have to see when we get to that point. There is, like I was saying, there's one thing that nobody really guesses about Ellie, because she does look to be a young adult, but she's actually more than 80 years old, and that's thanks to her family's rare elven blood. She's one of 8 siblings, and all of them have magic, and but Ellie's has always been tied to the earth, and she's, I guess, a woodland witch really at heart. So she works her magic through petals and flowers and plants, etc. And to the neighbors, she's just this girl next door who smells of wildflowers and sunshine. But there is this quiet strength behind that easygoing nature, and she has so many stories that she's just, I guess, not ready to tell as yet, but we're sharing it right now, guys. So this is a 2-bedroom 1.5 bath house, and I will go through and explain my thought processes whilst I was building each one. I did some of the landscaping on camera. Well, most of the landscaping I actually did do on camera. There was a part at the back. When I was doing the back, I thought I was recording, and that's the time I paused it like an idiot. So I was recording all the time that I was not supposed to be, and so I had to cut that out. But like I was saying, Ellie is she's part of a big family. She only has sisters, and she's somewhere in the middle of that, and she's very close to her sisters as well. They're very close-knit family. I know we don't really have elves and fairies, etc., but I kind of wanted to bring in that type of vibe, because when I created Ellie, I noticed that she kind of had this ethereal look about her. She looks like a little alien, to be honest. And to be fair, they say that fairies and just the fae on the whole, and I guess elves are falls into that. They come from outer space, so we can just say that it's a type of alien blood. But I didn't actually make her an alien. She's really just a witch in the game. So but she does have that little vibe about her, and of course she has this really wonderful garden outdoor space. It's more lush and elegant looking than, I guess, most of her neighbors, because of her type of let's just say they think she just has a green thumb, but it's actually just a magic coming into play. Now people maybe wonder, why does she have this big ass house, considering that she is a young adult? But it's really because she's just been around forever and ever. So I started the interior decoration in her office space, and the reason for this is because I had a little story for the office. So In my mind, this is a space that is always locked because this is where Ellie does most of, like, I guess that's where her true nature comes out, because she does do a lot of research and spell practices and just everything in her. And I hid away a lot of just hints of being in the occult in her. So she doesn't have a familiar, but she does, I guess it would be owls for her. So she does have a few owl statues placed around. And again, she has some orbs, but she does, like I say, do a lot of studying of herbs and just magical plants and spells, etc. So I did put a terranium in her with a plant terranium, and I did put a rare flower in there that's encased as well, and a secret notebook where she keeps all her documents and stuff put up. And yeah, so this is just a locked off space where she can be her true self without having to worry and show any of that part of herself to anybody else. And we move into the workspace, which is one of my favorite rooms in this house. I think whilst we go through, I will tell you like all my favorite rooms in this space. So the lighting in this space is utterly beautiful, and as you can see, and I wanted it to kind of have this flow from outdoor into the workspace, into the kitchen office area, where everything is kind of just flows. So this is where she does her flower arranging, and I put the little table in the middle to kind of simulate her probably having a bouquet in progress, kind of thing. I think she's also probably very well known, so she's very popular, and for the flower arranging, etc. And I guess though she makes like healing teas and stuff for her neighbors basically, or whoever else. But she sells teas, and so she probably grows a lot of sage and basil and all of these things. She's very close to Emira, who lives literally across the road from her, so they spend a lot of time together. And I kind of decorated the house with the intention of the feeling that when people come to visit, they don't really want to go. It feels so warm and inviting and welcoming there that it feels like home, kind of. So people tend to just want to hang out. So from the back veranda, I move into doing the kitchen, so you guys will see that shortly. Of course, I had to put in lots and lots of plants because this is where she gets her magic. She draws her magic from, so I had to put in lots of plants, like all over. Each room basically has a plant. As per usual, I do the bathrooms off camera, but the laundry room is actually also a room that I actually just pulled off of. It was a 2x1 room that I pulled off of the gallery, which is a pre-made room that I made basically, and then I just changed it up to suit the house, and that was it. The kitchen is fairly large. It goes into a very small dining room, but I feel like Ellie doesn't really eat that much, so she just has, and she does a lot of baking, guys. So she likes to bake, and she gives away like breads and cookies and stuff like that to just the neighbors and everything. By the way, this house is fully play tested. I have tried every single room in this house, and just to make sure that the flow works as well, particularly in the living room. I was a little bit concerned that she wouldn't have been able to get to the bookshelves in the kitchen, in the living room, but that works out fine. So she is our second sim in this little world. I feel like I loved Emira's story, and I loved everything like about her, that she had the cat, and her little house is its little own funky little space. But there was just something about Ellie's house that it really moved me. It really spoke to me. It felt very warm and welcoming, very overly cluttered. Oh my gosh, the clutter. But it also kind of suited. The reason why I wanted to put so much clutter and so many things to make it feel a bit lived in is simply because she has been around for some time, and of course she always updates and changes and stuff, but there are a few things that are just simply her favorite things, and so she would tend to carry them around. And yeah, so I feel like she would just have a little bit more things in stock than would normally be for any other regular sim. And of course I use so much CC. I cannot list again every single person's CC that I've used, but know that I've used a lot of it. But I also have a lot of broken CC. I know I said it in the last video as well, and I keep saying that I will get around to changing it, but then I get into game and I just don't want to, if that makes sense. And then we do a time jump where I go into the living room, which is another one of my favorite spaces. I kind of just pulled everything out. I put up the walls that I wanted, the wallpaper that I wanted to put up, and the curtains, etc., just to have a feel of the space. Sometimes it takes me a little time for me to decide on exactly what it is that I want to do in this space, but I feel like it flowed very well. Initially I wanted to put like an entry to the house. I felt that it would have been nice, but the house itself was weird to layout to me anyway. I absolutely hated that. The next part of the house that we jump to is the guest bedroom. It's very tiny. I imagine that when her sisters do come over, to just kind of find space to be where they need to be, or maybe they just do like big sleepovers in the living room instead. I think I kind of like that idea more. So it's a very tiny guest bedroom, and it has its own little very tiny bathroom as well. Same thing for Emira's room, which we're actually doing right now. I decorated the bathroom off camera as well. Like I said, it's very simple, nothing too much to do in the bathrooms, but I tried to incorporate again her types of colors, her type of mood. I think that she would suit her well, and I kind of caught myself going back into my kind of neutral phase of building for this room in particular. I felt myself continually drawing into getting a lot of very earthy tones in the bedroom, which I kind of had to remind myself that it's not necessary. I'm not sure that you caught it, guys, but in the bedroom there is this little drawn art of some girls on the wall. I wanted to think that this was done by Mira when she painted a picture of Ellie and her sisters, or some of the sisters, when they were out shopping or whatever. So now we're moving on to part of the backyard, and this is I separated it in several spaces, I guess you could see. So there was this one part where it is just like for entertainment, like an outdoor entertainment type of vibe, which is here where they just sit and entertain each other and just be out in the garden, etc. And then there is a gardening part of it as well. I actually did two separate gardening areas, and you will see what I've done. Again, I think part of this did not get a chance to be shown on camera, and again, it was when I thought I was recording and I wasn't, and I was actually recording me just pulling out all the stuff. It was very, very annoying to figure out that I made that mistake. But anyway, so this is like this little outdoor sitting area where you can have like a soiree outside in the open on sunny days, or in the evening even, I imagine, when the sun is down and everything. It looks really pretty in all times of the day. All times of the day. It's very, very lovely. There was something that I did, and I'm not sure again if it was caught on camera, but I did make it so that there was this cart of flowers that was looking like it was being drawn by a fairy, which is again a nod to her ancestry, which is like more elven vibes, I guess you could say. So this is another little small garden. I want to say maybe this is her herb garden. So this is where she would get like the well, you know what herbs are, guys. That's where she would plant it, because it's closer to the kitchen than anything else, I believe. So I felt like this was probably like a good little place for her to to do the herb garden, if anything. And this is where I actually pulled the cat and the fairy to make it look like it was being drawn by a fairy, which I think was very cute. Again, lots of flowers, lots of plants on the outside. I really hated doing this landscaping. Landscaping is not my favorite, guys. I absolutely hate it. And then I think towards the end you will see where I jumped to the last bit of the backyard where I do the rest of the gardening area, which, like I said, I was just so annoyed because I thought I was recording and I wasn't. And yeah, that was just like a bit of a mixed opportunity. On the outside hair now, I did not want it to be like overly bushy again, like how I typically do. So I do change things around. I come back to it because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do there. So I do come back to it. And hair, you see that that's where the jump is. That's where it was, guys. So I'm so sorry about that. But anyway, we're at the screenshots, and I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I apologize for the way the video ended, but I'll see you again, guys, in my next video. Goodbye.